Okay, hi girlfriends. Oh shit. It is literally 3 degrees outside and mama doesn't do well in cold weather. We're gonna get cozy, we're gonna get real comfortable, which is fun, cutesy, and we're gonna talk about some goals for 2024. I feel like you guys are so far. That's a little better. Hello. So last year around this time I uploaded bookish goals as well, and I really enjoyed doing it. I think I accomplished a lot of what I wanted to do, so I didn't really overconsume a lot last year. I didn't set a reading goal, which I'm also not doing this year, which helped a lot. We'll talk more about that. I've discovered that I actually do like setting goals and reaching them. I used to hate it because I'm like, oh, if I don't reach them, then that means I'm a failure and I didn't do enough and I was lazy, and I had to really get out of that mindset, which I'm so fucking proud of myself for doing, because now I love setting goals and I'm like, if I don't reach them, then it's okay, we'll just go harder, like, period. I feel like it's easier for me to have the mindset of go harder when it comes to books because it's books. This is not a serious thing at all, you guys. We read books, right? So I feel like it's way easier for me to accomplish certain things in this space, which has also allowed me to feel confident accomplishing other things, which is also very, very cool. So yeah, I'll shut the fuck up now trying to be Dr. Phil and shit. Goal number 1 for this year is not setting a reading goal, which I did last year as well. I felt so free at the end of last year. Like, I saw in December, all my mutuals and friends were like, oh, I'm behind on my reading goal. I have like 10 more books before the month is up. Not having that much of a frazzled brain about books was very, very freeing. Like, I felt great. I felt like I was floating on air. Granted, December was my best reading month out of the entire year for the 2nd year in a row. Like, I don't know what it is about December. Well, I do. It's the family trauma. But I really, like, at the end of December when I closed my last book, I was like, I read 80 books and I feel proud. There wasn't a number I was trying to reach. I was just going strictly on vibes, and I highly, highly recommend you guys do that too if you start to feel yourself stress out about hitting a reading goal. I think it's great. Like, if you want to read a certain amount of books, you should definitely push for it in a year. But with that, I've just seen so much negativity. It really helps me, so I'm going to do it again this year, especially because I am on a very slow start to reading this year. I think I'm only like 2 books in, which is fine because, like I said, I'm not trying to reach a number. I'm reading when I want to. Number 2 is spending a bit more time with books and allowing them to digest. I didn't really have this problem last year because, like I said, I was reading at a much slower pace than I usually do. Like, it just, reading wasn't my priority, which I am proud of myself for recognizing. I feel like in the book community space anyway, just because we're so used to going from one book to the next, that like sometimes, at least with me, I don't let the book digest a lot. Like, I will close it and then go on to the next and then completely forget about the other book unless like I really, really loved it. And I do notice that as well too. Like, unless I really, really enjoy a book, it's kind of hard for me to move on like that, you know. But I want to start giving more books of a chance to leave that impression on me. There have been so many books that I've read where I close it and I'm just like on to the next, like, oh, this book is cute, but I'm gonna read something else now. And then days later I'm like, wait, I missed those characters, and I feel like I moved on from them a little too quickly, and I gave my review a little too quickly, and I don't know, like, I just really want to start taking my time with books a little more, and that way I'm able to leave more thoughtful reviews, which is another goal. Last year I was just leaving star ratings and then like writing a couple sentences if I felt like it. I don't know, this year I think I actually do want to go a bit more in depth with the things I'm consuming and the way that I feel about them. I started using my notes app a lot when I'm reading, just to like try to refresh on how certain things make me feel. That way, once I'm done with the book and ready to like rate it and leave my review, I like actually have points of certain things that I enjoyed, certain things I didn't, that like really, I don't know, kind of make my rating make a bit more sense to me. I really want to start taking my time a lot with reading, with reviewing, with consuming books. And that also ties back into no reading goal, because like I said, in this community, like, we're go, 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 which is fine. I love that for us. But sometimes I do feel like I'm not spending enough time with books in order to leave a very thoughtful review, to like really encourage people or discourage people to read that book, you know. So I really want to start doing that a little more. Goal number 3 is to start annotating more, and that also ties into my goal of wanting to prioritize my physical TBR again. Y'all, I think I read maybe like 5 physical books last year, which is crazy because I only used to read physical, and then I got my Kindle in November 2021. But I remember I was like pretty good at still switching them off, but now I strictly read on my Kindle. And audio has also changed like how I engage with text now. Like, even when I'm reading on Kindle, I don't underline or highlight anything anymore, just because I'm so used to not doing that with an audiobook, because you can't annotate a book while you're listening to it. I mean, you can, but like when I'm in a car, obviously I fucking can't. We will die. And I know people also like to listen to the audiobook as they read. For me personally, I feel like it defeats the purpose, because I do read a bit faster than the narrators, and I could always like bump it up to like 2.5 or 3 times speed, but then I won't understand what the narrators are saying, because my brain kind of clocks out at like around 2 times speed depending on the production. Listening to an audiobook and also reading at the same time just does not work for me. I don't find it effective for myself. So that's why I'm like, I really do need to switch back to reading physically, because I miss annotating. Like, I miss seeing my books look super pretty, and I just miss like really engaging with the text. Like, the last book I annotated was The Right Move last year in March, I believe, and that's just like crazy to me, because I used to always annotate. Like, I miss getting my tabs, I miss getting my highlighters. I literally bought some cute highlighters and I just have not touched them because I don't annotate that much anymore. I will say, not annotating books though has kind of been good for me, because if I don't end up liking the book, that way I can resell it without like any of my annotations or markings being in the book, so like it's still fresh. So I did like that aspect of it, because y'all, I have so many books that I did not like, but I already started annotating it, so it's like I can't just give these away now. My markings and shit are literally in it. Goal number 4, I think. Sure. I want to go to at least 2 book conventions this year, which are already in the works. I'm going to Readers Take Denver in April, and I just got my Steamy Lit ticket yesterday. They went on sale yesterday, and luckily I snagged them so fucking fast. So Steamy Lit is in August. I'm also going to try to squeeze in one more. Wild and Windy is in Chicago in May, and Chicago is 4 hours away from me, which to me is up the street. I don't mind that drive at all, so I do think I want to go to that, like try to buy a resale ticket and just go, just because, you guys, going to my first book convention last summer was so much fun, and the people that I've been following on social media for years, like just finally meeting them in person and like still being besties, still in our group chats, and still just like talking about everything and planning more trips and stuff together. It's an unimaginable feeling, and I don't know, I just love having internet friends so much, and then finally being able to meet them. My first book convention, being Book Bonanza, was actually insane. Like, I learned a lot from that experience, but just meeting people and authors and like wanting to feel a bit more comfortable when I go up to authors and talk to them about what their book means to me, because y'all, I was a hot mess. I've already explained this story so many times, but I was so unprepared for the way that talking about the Bell Brothers trilogy to Sierra Simone was gonna make me feel. Like, I did not expect to cry in front of her. I just want to like get more confident with talking to authors about how much their book impacted me without literally sobbing and snotting in front of them. Like, I don't know. So book conventions for me is also just like such a good time to see book friends and book people and authors and just everyone. Like, I love the community so much. So I've got the book convention bug. Like, 2 is my goal, but if I squeeze in more than that this year, we'll see. They are so fucking expensive though, you guys. Like, I am not excited about spending another $300 on a ticket, but it is so worth it. Like, I am obsessed. So number 5 is to chill the fuck out when it comes to special editions. I made a video about this too last year. My special edition addiction got a little out of control for my liking last year, because I was just buying special editions to have them, like even for books that I have not read. It made no sense. And then, to be very honest and very blunt, some of the special editions I bought aren't giving special edition. Like, the covers I'm not even that obsessed with. So I'm on a special edition book buying ban this year, unfortunately. I did damage last year for sure. I just want to be a bit more intentional about where my money is going as well. Like, I feel like I was just throwing money at covers just to have. Like, it's not even out facing on my bookshelf. I'm literally just like looking at the spine, because I'm not that obsessed with the cover. So it's like, why did I spend $100+ on a cover that I'm not obsessed with, on a book that I'm not that obsessed with, you know? So I just want to be a little more mindful of what I'm giving my money to and what the special edition actually includes. I do think they're becoming a bit oversaturated. Like, every week I look up, there's a new special edition of something, and I get it, it's a business, like people really enjoy them, but for me personally, I'm like, unless it's to die for, unless I'm obsessed with the cover and obsessed with the book, I just don't feel the need to own every single special edition of any books that I have on my shelf, unless it's like my favorite thing ever. So we're gonna chill out. We're gonna chill out. These are some of my goals that I've been trying to reach for years, and who knows if I'm going to actually do them this year, but I really do want to start expanding my platform a bit. I want to start doing reading vlogs again, and I want to interview authors from time to time and just like have more of a variety on my channel. I do know it's very hard to do just time-wise with everything that I have going on in my personal life, and then trying to like really incorporate reading outside of that, which is already hard for me a little bit now. I'm really thinking about utilizing my book talk again, which I'm still kind of like up in the air about, just because I'm not that passionate about TikTok book talk anymore, unfortunately. Like, I loved it 2 years ago, but now it's just a completely new world, which is fine, and the algorithm is weird and all that, and I don't know, I just feel like my place on book talk isn't there anymore, if that makes sense. Like, I did what I needed to do, I felt proud of it, but now it's just like, I don't know. I do still want to make video content and post somewhere instead of just YouTube, right? So I'm thinking about doing more reels and maybe still uploading TikToks, or just like maybe filming one TikTok and uploading that to reels, like just putting my face on as many screens as possible. So we'll see. It's still up in the air, because like I said, I'm just not that passionate about book talk anymore. And my For You page is nowhere near book talk right now. Like, I don't get any book recommendation videos on my page anymore, which is crazy because that's all it used to be. But I haven't forgot where I came from. Book talk was very, very fun for me. So yeah, we'll see. And lastly, the big one is exploring more reading genres. Obviously, I feel like a lot of us have that goal. A big reason this is one of my goals this year is mainly because I love romance. I will always love romance. I enjoy it. I have so much fun with it. I learn a lot about my own self whenever I read romance. Not to be one of those people, but I do think some of the stories are starting to sound the exact same. I just actually made a TikTok about how I'm starting to hate third act conflicts, just because they're starting to get more and more ridiculous for my liking. And I never used to complain about that. Like, yeah, do I want these characters to break up? If they need to, fine. But like, now characters are breaking up for reasons that I find so stupid, and it's just like, to fit this romance format of they get together and then something tragic happens, they break up, and then there's this grand gesture that has to happen, and then they're back together. And it's like, for some reason my brain is just sick of it a little bit. I think the format of the romance genre is starting to, I don't want to say bore me, it's just like I am not that surprised by much anymore, because I know the formula of romance, right? I really noticed this last year with my reading as well. I did not rate a ton of books 5 stars at all. I think I only rated like 10 or 15 books 5-star, and half of those were rereads. More than half of those were rereads. So I'm kind of noticing how romance stories impact me now. And just from like my reading last year, I feel like I was not that impressed by much, which sounds so sad, and this is no dig to any authors. It's just my brain being kind of sick and oversaturated with the romance genre format. So I think it is a smart idea to do some palette cleansing, like to take a break for a minute where it's like I'm not reading so much of the same thing back to back all the time. I do want to try fantasy. As we know, I've never been a fantasy girly in my entire life. I did read Fourth Wing when that came out, but even that, I gave that a 4-star. I thought it was okay, and then I DNF'd Iron Flame because I thought that was horrible. Like, I feel like I'm at a better space in my mindset where I can digest a fantasy book, so I really want to give that a try. Hopefully it sticks, because I do also want to talk about more books on my platform instead of just romance, because I know some of you guys also read a lot of fantasy and mystery and thriller, and some of you guys give me recs, and I feel so bad where I'm like, oh, I don't read this, but I want to try. So those are all the goals I have so far for 2024. I'm excited. I usually don't get excited about a new year. Like, I don't feel this fresh and motivated, but this year I do feel that way, and I think it's mainly because 2023 was horrible for me. So I'm excited to just feel like I'm back on my grind a little bit more. Let me know some of your 2024 goals. Please give me book recs for anything outside of the romance genre as well, because I'm trying to switch some things up around here, and I'm excited to see how 2024 is going to treat us. Hopefully well, because I can't take another bad year. So as usual, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. If you like me, please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Mwah.